Now we're going to start doing the details on our floor plans, sections, and elevations. So we do need to hatch our walls or pocher our walls with those little lines, so I'm going to go ahead and begin that. I'm going to go ahead and begin that. Remember that we don't go through the windows. The windows are not a full wall. I'm going to start from this way and go this way so my hand doesn't rub over and smear the lead. Okay, so we did our walls for our floor plan, and now we're going to do our walls on our sections. So remember section B, we cut through that one. We're going to do the exact same thing with pochering the walls, but we're not going to go through the windows like we did here. We're just going to leave it blank. And now this wall, we did another cut through a window, so we're just gonna go fully pushing it. And this one was our front window, which was a bit taller. So we're just gonna crochet the top and the bottom. And then obviously both of the out or exterior walls. This wall does not get any wall thickness. Wait, this way. Because we're just looking at it. We didn't cut through it. So that's why we're not going to give it a thickness. Okay, so we're done with our crocheting. Now let's work on giving our windows and doors some thickness. And okay, so first we're going to start with like window trim. And I'm going to do my trim about 3 inches. So remember that this is 12 inches, everything before the 0. So half of 12 is 6, and half of 6 is 3. So I'm just going to go up to the 3 inches and give everything some trim. So 3, 0. So it's going to be about that thick. You see? I'll line up my triangle. And get that straight line. And I'm not going to make these lines really dark. They're actually going to be lighter than my normal lines. Three inches. I'm actually going to go mark everywhere. It's very hard to see, but I have my 3 little markings. I'm going to go ahead and make my lines. I'm always lining it up with the bottom of the paper. So there's that first window trim, and I'm going to go do that to the others as well. Three inches. We're doing it not on the outside, but on the inside. And I'm leaving a little bit of a blank so they don't really overlap, but the lines are going to be so light, like sometimes here they do. It'll be fine. Remember, I'm doing lighter lines compared to, everything else. Three inches again. I mean, also, if you don't want to just well, it's too late because I didn't tell you all that, but you could have just completely drawn your line all the way across. Doesn't look good. Okay, and now we're going to do it on the right elevation window as well. So now we have our window and some details that go on the windows. This is not just one piece of big glass. They do have, you know, it could be divided into 6, 4, 3. We're going to go ahead and do that. For the purpose of this specific drawing, we're just going to cut them in half on all of them. So this one was 2, half of 2 is 1. So I'm just going to draw a line down the middle. And then at the top, I'm going to add 3 inches because it's not just a line, it's a thickness. So I'm just going to add the 3 inches on top. And we'll just go ahead and add them at the top on all of them. Okay. Half of 5, 2 feet 6 inches, center. Lining it up to the bottom of the paper. And I'm going to do this one as well. 3 inches at the top. And there we go. And we're also going to do this one. Half 5, 2 feet 6 inches. Three inches on top. And there's our windows. Now we need the door. So the door is kind of like the windows, and we're just going to make it like a 2-panel door. So we're going to do 3 inches. We're going to go not all the way around. We're going to leave the bottom part out. Okay, so we did it all the way around except for the bottom part. Okay. So on a door, like we're going to put 2 panels. Usually there's nothing down below like a foot. Like they usually give it 1 foot until they start any details on a door, because basically a lot of like people's feet end up touching the bottom of the door. So let's go ahead and leave 1 foot open from the bottom of the door to here. I'm going to draw it inside. And we're going to start our first panel right there, 1 foot from the door. Now we're left with 5 feet 6 inches. So we're going to go up 3 feet. No. Hold on. Okay, we're only going to go up 2 feet from that 1 foot, okay? So 2, 1, 0. So I'm kind of marking them. And you can kind of freehand this one, but we're going to leave about 6 inches off on each side. So let me show you what it's going to look like. So it's going to look somewhat like that, and we're going to do the same thing, but let's do 6 inches away from now this one. So 0 to 6 inches. We'll start our next line right there. 6 inches. And then I want 6 inches from that top.
Would you like me to disinfect these?
Sure. Okay. That'd be good.
Thanks, Miss.
Of course. But we're going to be drafting every day for like the next 3 weeks, so you need to bring it.
Yeah, I just forgot it.
Okay, so it's basically 6 inches all around, 6 inches from here to here, and then I just brought up these lines, and that's now our 2-panel door. Okay, don't forget our little knob. The knob is going to go on this side since it's open like this. So if you have your knob would open like that. So your knob goes on this side. So just go ahead and place the knob like literally in that general area. And then lastly, now that we finished our door, let's come to our sections because we already finished our elevations. We already finished our details on the floor plan. Now let's go to our details on the section. Because remember, we did see a window in our section, and our window was this window right here. And this window is this window right here. So we're going to do exactly the same thing, except we're going to kind of cut it off because we don't see anything past that. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this section, looking this way, we don't only see that window, but we also see this door. So we're gonna do the details on this door, I mean on this window, and we're gonna add the door. So if we're looking this way, we will see that door. Okay, we're gonna add it and then we will do the details. So we were 6 inches away, 0 to 6. So from this point, 6 inches over. And remember that this door was 2 feet, 6 inches wide. So we're going to make this opening 2 feet, 6 inches wide. That's going to be our opening. And just like that front door, we're going to go up. And that front door was 6 feet, 8 inches tall. So I stopped at the 6 and go back to 0. And now we have the 6, but now we need the 8 inches. So we're going to go slightly above this one. We're going to make 2 feet, 8 inches tall. Oops. I need to use my triangle for that one. And we still need to go over 2 feet, 6 inches. Should be right here. There to there. Line it up with the bottom. And now let's continue our line up here on top. And that's our opening. Okay, now let's move towards our window details. So like we said, 3 inches. So I put 3 inches right here. 3 inches right here. And 3 inches right here. Okay. And now we need to add that middle line. So it's 5. Half of 5 is 2 feet, 6 inches. Let's mark it. And then we're going to go 3 inches on top. Okay, now we got to do the details on the door as well, because we had forgotten about, or I had forgotten about the door. So we're going to do 3 inches on the door as well. Remember that we don't do the bottom, we just do the top on a door. Okay, since this is an inside door, we're not going to add all the details to it, but we do need to add the doorknob. So if you look right here, because we're looking, we are looking at the drawing like this. So if the door were to close, your knob would be on this side, so the knob needs to be right over here. So I'm just gonna line it up kind of with this knob. I don't know if you can see. I'm just placing the knob height in the same area. Okay. And that's our interior door and section. Those are our details. Now we can go ahead and begin with dimensioning as the last thing. And we're going to be dimensioning first off our floor plan. So again, we just do some straight lines. I'm going to take my dimension lines past this, line it up to the bottom of the paper, and I'm going to make a line from here to there. And there's a line here from when we did the I guess the elevations. But I'm going to add one more since we do get a wall. So I'm going to do from, you know what, I'm going to do, we have a window. So we're going to measure from this outside point to the first part of this window. So we're going to bring the line up. Let's do our lines really lightly. And now from this outside of the window to this part of the window, the end of it. From that part of the end of the window to this point right here, this inside point, and then that's going to be it. So I'm going to put the little slashes so we know where each point is at. We can go ahead and measure on our 1/4 inch scale. This was 0 to 3 feet. This window was 2 feet. Erase a little part. 2 feet. This window this outside of the window to this interior point was 2 feet 6 inches. And now this interior point to this exterior point is 12 feet 6 inches. Okay, so basically all these numbers should add up to the overall total, which is 20. So 12, let's leave the 6 out, 12 plus 3, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus 2, 16, 17, plus another 2, 18, 19. We're at 19 feet, 6 inches, and 6 inches makes 1 foot. And you add that 1 foot to 19, and that's a total of 20 feet. So that is correct. And now let's go ahead and add another line to give our overall total. Feet. Okay, now we're going to do the dimensioning for this side. I'm going to go all the way out again. About the same distance I did right here, which is about 3.5 feet. Okay, that'll work. Super light line. Okay, now before I get ahead of myself, we're going to be doing from this point, or actually we got to start from this because we started this way, so we got to continue along all of this. So we're going to do from this point to the window. And then to the other end of the window. And then there. So we're going to have this distance, this distance, this distance. Okay, so this distance is 4, 5.5. 5 feet, 6 inches. 4, 5, 5 feet 6 inches. Our window is 4 feet. And this distance is 5 feet 6 inches. So if you add that up, it should equal 15 feet. So I think that's what we said. So 5 and 5 is 10, plus 4 is 14. And then the 6 inches and the 6 inch equals 1 foot. So you add that 1 to the 14 and we have 15 feet total. So that'll work out. Just like I did this one, I'm going to add it over here. At 15 feet. Okay, now we're gonna be doing the dimensions for the side because we do have to go all the way around. So it's right here. Okay, so we're going to take it from this point to that point. Then to the opening of the door. Then to the beginning of the window. The end of the window, to the next window, to the end of the window, and that should be it. Okay, so 1/4 scale. We have it at 0 to 1 foot 6 inches. From this point to this point, we're at 1 foot 6 inches. We know our door is 3 feet wide because that's an exterior door size, 3 feet, 2, 3. Oops, I'm writing the numbers upside down. Needs to be the other way. So if you're looking at it, the numbers need to be 1 feet 6 inches, 3 feet. Bye. Okay. This is 5 feet. The windows were 3 feet. We know this one's the same, so we can go do 3 feet as well. The distance between the windows were 2 feet. And this distance from here to here is 2 feet 6 inches. Okay, so we definitely can do the overall, but basically what we know is that from this distance to this distance, it's already 20 feet. So there's no need to go back and draw the other 20-foot line when this one indicates that it's from this point to this point, which reflects this side as well. So we can definitely add it up to make sure we are correct. 2, leave this, I'm going to leave both 6 inches out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, plus the 6 and the 6 equals 12 inches, which is 1 foot. 1 plus 19 is 20. So we're at 20 feet. Now we're going to work on this side. So I'm going to draw my lines on each end for now. So it's going to be from this point, and we're going to take it all the way to the start of that point. And then we can just continue to that end. So this should be 7 feet. And then this is going to be 8 feet. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 feet. That's perfect. Okay. Now that we have the dimensions on the floor plan, we're going to continue doing our dimensions on the elevations. So on elevations, it gets heights, and of course we would have a roof, because since these are exterior elevations, we would normally show a roof, but we're not going to do roofs just for learning this elevations for the first time. So just like we did to our floor plans, we're going to bring out the elevation or the dimension lines. They're super light, and I did it about exactly like 2 feet on my 1/4 scale. Oh. Alright, so we're going to do that height. Okay, so we're going to start from this one, then we're going to get that height, and then we're going to continue to the bottom. So the dimension here was 2 feet. Our window was also 2 feet. And our distance from the window to the bottom was 4 feet. So overall, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we need to do our overall dimension. We're going to go ahead and do it for this one down here as well. Okay, we're going to do it for down here. I did notice I did something incorrect on elevations. Your numbers are actually straight up. Okay. Let's bring over these lines now. So that'll give us the distance from here to here. This will give us the height of the windows, and this will give us the distance from the bottom to there. So the distance is 1 foot 6 inches. The windows were 5 feet, and this was 1 foot 6 inches. So 5, 6, 7, and then the 2 6 inches adds up to 8. So that's correct. We have 8 feet. And those are our elevation dimensions. Did I get everything? Yes, I did. So technically, if you were to look back to this and you needed to redraw it, you could easily find your distances, which is why we don't need to measure from here to here, because we already have the measurements right up here. But what we do need is our heights. So that's why we needed dimensions, our heights on an elevation. Now we can go ahead and do the same thing we did here. Let's go ahead and do it on the right and left elevation. So we did about 2 feet for our first line. Then our overall dimension line. Okay, so we're going to start with getting this bottom dimension. The top one. This one from the top of the window. This one to the bottom of the window. And we're only going to take it to, for these dimensions, we're only going to take it to this line. Okay. So we know that referring back to our other ones, because this one had the same height dimensions. This is 1 foot 6 inches. This is 5 feet, and this is 1 foot 6 inches. And then obviously 8 feet. Now we can go up here and do this one. This one doesn't need this line because there's nothing small to measure. So I'm going to erase it. And 8 feet. Okay, so that should be it for our dimensions on our elevations. So for our sections, there's nothing that we really need to measure because we already know the heights. The heights are shown on the elevations, and our wall distances are shown on the floor plans. Anything specific that would need to be called out would need to be labeled, but there's nothing really specific here. Actually, the door can be called out. So we didn't necessarily put a dimension on the door, so we can go ahead and call it out in a section. And remember that a call out is just a little arrow. So I'm going to show you how to draw a call out arrow. So it's going to be kind of like a slanted line on the door itself. And you just draw a straight line. So it's pointing to the door. We could say that as this is a 2 foot 6 inch interior door. And so that's basically what sections have, are callouts of specific items that were not stated in any of the dimensions. Okay, so let's go through all our drawings and make sure we have everything correct and labeled. So we have our sections, A and B. We have our dimensions on our elevations. And then we have our floor plan dimensioned with our sections. And then we just need to label our floor plan. And that's it. So now we're done with our full set of our construction documents that are hand drafted for this specific floor plan.